I, 36 female, am engaged to a wonderful 41 male man, Mike. We both have children from previous relationships. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and he has a 5-year-old son, Luke. Luke's mom is Mike's ex-wife, Ashley. Mike has had some issues with never telling Ashley no about taking Luke on nights we aren't supposed to have him. He's canceled dates with me and family trips, etc., because Ashley asks him out of the blue to take Luke with some frequency. He used to be much worse about it, but he's gotten better and has only been asked as a last resort. Well, this past Friday, sure enough, Ashley calls us asking us to babysit because she has concert tickets for Saturday night. Mike had to work, so he wasn't able to, and then it was turned to me. I had already made plans that evening to have a mom-daughter date with my daughter. I had reserved us mani-pedis and a nice dinner. These mom-daughter dates are important to my daughter and I, since she's going through the mess that is puberty. I told Ashley I had other plans. I figured she's got enough family, friends, and money. She alone makes the same amount Mike and I make, not counting the child support he pays, to figure something out on her own. I was wrong. Saturday came and she was in a tizzy, blowing up Mike and my phone begging us to take Luke that night. I stood firm and told her no, and that my time with my daughter was more important to me than her going to some concert. I silenced my phone and took my daughter on our date. We had a wonderful time and had an amazing dinner. We come home to find Mike royally angry with me. Ashley, her friends, and her family spent all evening calling him, yelling at him, telling him how unreasonable and how much of a bee I was for not watching Luke, and that I'm obviously going to be a bad stepmom since I don't care to watch him. Then the custody threats started, how they'll take away Mike's weekends with Luke, etc., and he wasn't able to reach me since I had silenced my phone. It's calmed down a lot since then, but now Ashley is demanding I refund her the $300 she spent on her ticket since she couldn't go since I refused to watch Luke that night. Mike and I have been saving up money bit by bit to take my daughter and Luke on a trip next year. Mike is just telling me to give her money from it and avoid the fight, but I don't want to. If we give in to these demands, she's going to continue these behaviors and using us. Am I the a-hole for not watching Luke on Saturday? And would I be the a-hole if I don't give her the money she lost? Not the a-hole for not watching Luke, and especially for not paying the ex $300. That's just a bat-crap crazy level of entitlement. But are you sure you want to marry such a cowardly man who lashes out at you because he's too spineless to stand up to his ex? Not the a-hole. That woman needs to learn to respect your boundaries and take no for an answer. Mike also needs to be taking your side on this kind of thing, and it's concerning that he's not. You don't owe her that money, and under those circumstances, you're not obligated to babysit. Not the a-hole, but you don't have an ex-wife problem. You've got a fiancé problem. How dare he get pissy with you after the way that psycho acted? He knew full well what was going on. Why would you accept that kind of reaction? I would feel so betrayed. You need to make it clear, and in no uncertain terms, that this level of manipulation and aggression will not be tolerated. As another commenter brought up, save all the evidence of threats with custody and manipulation of money for the courts. You should both take these threats seriously and get ahead of them by contacting the judge. Do not be passive, and tell your man it's time he stood behind his soon-to-be wife. I and Sierra divorced last year because she used money from our joint account without asking me. She spent it on a boob job because she felt like her boobs had become ugly after pregnancy and breastfeeding. I had been completely against the idea of spending money on a plastic surgery, but she went and got it without my knowledge. I divorced her immediately after coming to know about it. We have a 2-year-old daughter now who we co-parent. I have my daughter over every weekend, and I pay Sierra child support. Her job doesn't pay her a lot, but she scrapes by somehow. For the past month or so, she has been leaving our daughter at home more often. When I asked her why, she said that her back was hurting a lot because of the boob job. I said okay and agreed to have our daughter at my home more often. A week ago, she called me asking to pick up our daughter immediately because she wasn't able to even stand up without it paining a lot. I went and picked up my daughter and went home. She didn't call or text me until yesterday. Yesterday, I got a call from her, and she asked me for $4,000. I asked her why, and she said that she couldn't take the back pain any longer and was going to get her breast implants removed. I refused and told her that it's not my problem, and I don't see any reason why I should help her. She pulled the "I'm the mother of your child" card, and I told her I'm only obligated to give her child support and co-parent. She said that it was a very real health issue that she's facing, and I should be willing to help her for the sake of her health. When I refused again, she asked me to loan her the amount. I told her that I don't trust her to pay me back the interest or even the principal amount. She started crying and cut the call. I've been getting calls from her mother and sister, and they're all calling me a jerk for being so petty. I told them they can pay for her surgery if they feel so bad for her, and I cut the call. I've blocked her sister and mother. I also texted Sierra that she shouldn't try to call me except regarding our daughter. I've not got any calls or text after that. She ignored my last messages too. Am I the a-hole? Edit. The very pregnancy started with her deceiving me. She went off pills and didn't tell me anything about it until the pregnancy test came out positive. Because of her recklessness, I had to take on a second job because we weren't financially prepared for a kid. Then I started saving dollar by dollar so that we'd have enough money to buy diapers, formula, etc. for our daughter and her. Instead of supporting me and saving money, she went and used all those savings for her boob job. She essentially prioritized her looks over our baby's basic needs. I don't care how mentally ill she was. No loving mother would prioritize her own looks over the child's food and health. That's why I divorced her selfish butt. She cannot expect me to treat her well after she essentially took food out of my daughter's mouth for the sake of her vanity. She should be grateful I still talk to her in full sentences. Not the a-hole. She has this pain because she took your money and had a boob job. This ain't your problem. Yeah, she's your ex-wife and mother of your child, but that doesn't mean you have to pay for her medical bills. You're paying for your child's needs and co-parent your child with her. That's enough. You're right. This isn't your problem. Most definitely not the a-hole. Your ex's behavior seems downright manipulative. She's your ex. Her health and life is not your responsibility. The amount of audacity required for her to even ask that, considering you broke up over her taking money from your joint account for this procedure behind your back, is mind-blowing. If you say yes to this, she'll be asking for something else tomorrow. Not the a-hole. Your ex stole money for a boob job you didn't want to pay for from the joint account, and now she expects you to pay to remove the implants? That was the last line for you to divorce her. She should not expect you to pay for a surgery she wanted and is now getting consequences from it. If she's getting backaches from the implants, it's on her for not doing enough research about the effects, good and bad, after plastic surgery. I, 28 male, have two friends, D, 27 female, and Tommy, 29 male. We've known each other since middle school and make a point to make time to keep in touch and eat out at least once a month, but often twice. We live a 40-minute drive apart, but it's worth it to keep the friendship alive. This died down during the virus, but we're back at it semi-regularly again. I'm single, a romantic. They've never made me feel like a third wheel. This isn't a date I'm invading. It's decompression time for friends to have a nice meal and maybe a few drinks. After the virus, Dee never went back to working. They both seem to be okay with this, and she enjoys the housemaking life. That's their thing, not my problem. The problem is that when the bill comes, Tommy asks for it to be split 2 ways, or it will just be split that way because only 2 of us walked up to the pay counter. First few times I shrugged it off, half of her meal comes to less than $7, and I usually have a singular beer while they have soda, so my portion is probably $2 to $3 higher anyways. It all came to a head this weekend when we went to a nicer place that just opened up in the area. At $50-ish a head, I couldn't help but speak up when he tried to tell the waitress to split the bill 2 ways. I did the math at the table, and just what I had came up to $67. A third of the bill was $71. I told him I'd either pay the third even, though it's more than my portion, or just go Dutch. I didn't care either way since it was close. He was absolutely appalled, told me it was embarrassing that I had done all this in front of Dee, knowing that she wasn't working, and made a snide remark about how I make more than him anyways. To his snide remark, I said something I maybe shouldn't have, about the fact that I'm not the one who married her, so why should I subsidize her unless she's coming home with me half the time? I paid my portion and left. Now he's texting me incessantly about how I embarrassed the duck out of him in front of his wife, and I should have been a man about the situation and split the bill between the men, like it's proper to do. The more I think back, the more I realize this has happened since college too. He and I would split the cost for pizza, and she would come eat too. You can call me the a-hole for what I said. I'll accept that. But am I the a-hole for setting the bill in front of her? She's known me just as long as he has. Maybe I should have just paid it then and settled it later. Rude and sexist, not the a-hole. Etiquette and morality place the responsibility of paying for his wife's meal on him and his wife, not you. The default is always paying for what you order only, unless otherwise agreed. Since the inequitable bill splitting was a long-standing habit, you might have texted them a heads up first that won't be how you were doing things going forward. But honestly, that would not likely have cut down on the drama. Text them back that you value their friendship, but you have been feeling taken advantage of for a while because you have come to understand that what he is doing with the check is neither fair nor normal. Adults of all genders pay for what they order, and couples and families pay for what they as a group order. Tell them you love them and want to keep eating out with them, but this is the way payment will be handled going forward, and that is not open for discussion, period. End of conversation. Not the a-hole. They come to the restaurant as a family unit and should therefore be paying for themselves as a family unit. Not to mention that D is opting not to work and isn't unemployed out of necessity. Not the a-hole. If there's a next time, order a bunch of stuff to take home right at the end, and then before the waiter walks away, tell him or her that you'll be splitting the bill 2 ways. Good idea. My mom told me I should bring 2 or 3 escorts and feed them all and still insist on 50-50, which is a super weird thing for a mom to suggest, S-workers and all, but she's hilarious. My girlfriend is an incredible poet. She's been writing since she was in elementary school and has won contests and awards. Well, I'm a musician, so it works out perfect. I can write good melodies and sing well, but I suck with words. My girlfriend helped me write a couple songs last summer, and my followers loved them. I played them live, too. So we moved in together in March, which seems a little soon, I know. But once the current situation hit, we said duck it and had her move in with me because her parents are a-holes. Like raised by narcissist status crap. Anyway, as I was helping her unpack her stuff at my place, I noticed a really old shoebox. As I started to open it, my girlfriend freaked out and snatched the box from me. I laughed, asking what was so special about it, because she was acting like she saw a ghost, and she got super defensive and told me it was bad poetry I wrote in middle school and high school that I'm only holding on to for sentimental value, but I don't want anyone to see it. I tried to convince her to let me read it, but it just made her more mad, so I dropped it. I couldn't stop being curious, though. It was like the shoebox started to taunt me. I eventually waited till she went to work from home on her laptop in the spare bedroom to finally go through all the notebooks. Some of it was really cringe, yeah, but some of it was seriously just as good as her current writing. So all throughout last week, I started working on a new song based on her old poetry. The song turned out awesome, so I posted the SoundCloud link to all my social media accounts, and my fans adored it. I showed her the good reception it was getting so she could see how incredible of a teen poet she was, and she flipped the duck out. She threatened to take me to court if I didn't take it down right away, which I did. But now she's telling me to take down the other two songs she helped write because she can't look at me right now. All I did was show her how talented she's always been, and now she's messaging all of her friends looking for a couch to crash on. I really love this girl. I don't want her to leave. I've apologized, but she says I'm full of it. Hopefully some honest internet feedback will help her understand this isn't worth losing a good thing over. Am I the a-hole here, guys? Oh, sweet summer child. Where to start? Oh yeah, you're the a-hole. I hope she sees this and understands she's being really dramatic right now. Oh boy, that is not how you achieve that. You're the a-hole. She told you not to look at it, made that perfectly clear, and you waited until she turned her back so that you could disregard her wishes. It's clear you never even considered respecting her demand to privacy. You're the a-hole. You then took it one step further, took that one thing she didn't want to share, even with her boyfriend, and you shared it on SoundCloud. You're the a-hole. Quick mention for the some of it was really cringe, just to bring her down a bit more. Sorry for not sugarcoating it, but you are a massive a-hole. If I were her, I would never be able to trust you ever again. This is one of the most narcissistic am I the a-holes I've read in a long time. Again, you're the a-hole. You're the a-hole. Not only is this plagiarism, you expressly went against your girlfriend's wishes regarding her own private material. You still don't seem to understand how wrong what you did was. So I'm not surprised she doesn't think your apology is genuine. The least you can do is take down the song she collaborated on, while you ruminate over why it's not acceptable to go behind your girlfriend's back, rummage through her personal belongings, and steal her words, particularly after she has clearly and firmly said no. You're the a-hole. She said no, end of story. A lot of time, poetry can be very emotional for the writer. Depending on why she wrote it, it can be the reason she doesn't want to hear it. Stop. You're selfish.